Imagine a film that, well, it feels less like a straightforward story and more like stepping right into someone's most vivid, maybe quirky, sometimes even chaotic memories.
Yeah, like a real kaleidoscope of characters, chaos. And that soundtrack just sweeps you away, doesn't it? Back to another time.
Exactly. So today, we're taking a deep dive into Federico Fellini's acclaimed 1973 film, Amarcord.
And that title, Amarcord, it's key. Right? It's basically phonetic from Miracodos, I remember, in the dialect of Romani.
Fellini's hometown where the film is set. So our mission today is really to unpack this unique cinematic experience. It really blurs the lines between memory, fantasy, reality.
Exploring its charm, definitely, but also the controversies and its lasting impact.
We'll be pulling insights from, a whole stack of sources, IMDb, FAQs, lots of trivia, and a real mix of user reviews we've curated just for you. Kind of a shortcut to understanding this masterpiece.
Sounds good.
So, okay, if we're talking about a film that's basically a tapestry of memories, it immediately kind of challenges what we expect from a narrative, doesn't it?
Totally. There's no traditional A to B plot here.
Right. Yet it has this incredible power. It just sticks with you long after the credits roll. So what makes Amarcord resonate so deeply, even with that, unconventional structure?
That's a really crucial observation, because Amarcord isn't just a story you follow, it's genuinely an experience. You just sort of absorb it. It's this captivating series of vignettes, some funny, some nostalgic, all set in this 1930s Italian coastal town, clearly inspired by Fellini's Rimini.
He sort of admitted that, but didn't want to call it straight autobiography.
Exactly. He often denied it was purely autobiographical. Preferred semi-autobiographical. He said something like, I wouldn't say I relive my own life, but I explore my own memory.
Ah, okay.
And you see that reflected in the reviews. People call it Fellini's Loving Memories or an elaborate nostalgia piece. They get that it's a deeply personal journey.
So it's less about factual recounting and more about the feeling of memory itself. That seems key.
Precisely. And this non-linear episodic structure, people call it a mosaic of memories, that feel like a very deliberate choice, to mimic how our own memory actually works.
Right, because our memories aren't neat timelines.
Not at all. Think about it. Your own recollections, they mix up sharp details with, loose fantasies, dreams, maybe even stuff you've exaggerated over time.
Yeah.
Amarcord does exactly that. Creates this really distinct cinematic language. And yeah, some early viewers were maybe a bit perplexed. They wanted a normal plot.
Sure.
But the overwhelming feeling, especially looking back, is that it's just utterly captivating. A fabulous collage of events that feels so human because it mirrors how our minds work.
That mosaic you described, it sounds so personal, almost dreamlike, but what actually populates that world? I'm thinking about the characters Fellini brings to life, what makes them so memorable, so vivid even now.
Yeah, this is where Fellini's genius really, really shines. He understood that memory often exaggerates things, right? Makes figures larger than life. And he just leaned right into that. He filled his imagined Rimini with these truly eccentric, almost grotesque characters.
Grotesque? How so?
Well, maybe grotesque isn't quite the right word all the time, but definitely exaggerated. He was notorious for favoring actors with strange and unusual faces. He'd often picked them from amateur groups in northern Italy.
It's a professional actor.
Often, yeah. He wanted those unique, unfiltered faces. He wasn't looking for typical Hollywood looks.
So he was deliberately seeking out a kind of authenticity in the eccentricity.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Each figure isn't just a character. They're like magnified reflections of desires,
Yeah.
social roles, the sort of collective memory you find in any community.
Okay, give us some examples. Who stands out?
Oh, well, you've got Godiska, the town beauty, the hairdresser. Every man wants her, but she's sort of unattainable. Classic trope, but Fellini elevates it. Or the very buxom tobacconist. There's that famous scene with young Tita. It's awkward, desperate. It just nails that adolescent yearning.
I think I know the scene you mean.
Yeah. And then there's Uncle Teo, the mad uncle who climbs a tree shouting, I want a woman.
Huh. Okay, that definitely sounds like a local legend type.
Totally, doesn't it? Every small town has those stories, those unforgettable eccentrics.
For sure. Who else?
Well, you also have the family grounding it a bit. The loud, stern father Aurelio, the loyal mother Miranda, they anchor things amidst the chaos. And then the classic Fellini touches a foul-mouthed midget nun, a blind accordionist. These aren't just random quirks. These endearing misfits, as some call them, they create this almost carnival-like atmosphere that defines the whole town.
So it's not just character, it's archetype.
Yeah, I think so. larger-than-life representations of the human experience. They feel specific to Rimini, but also somehow universal.
And beyond these amazing characters, the film's visual style is just, wow, it really jumps out at you. It practically bursts off the screen. What's going on visually that makes it so striking?
Oh, the visual flair is undeniable. Huge part of its lasting impact. The cinematographer, Giuseppe Rotuno, he worked with Fellini on 9 films, a long partnership.
9 films, yeah.
Yeah, they had a real shorthand. Rotuno created this just luscious, colorful, visually striking look. And one technique he often used was a short lens.
Like a wide angle.
Exactly. To exaggerate perspective, think about how a wide-angle lens on your phone can kind of distort faces in a selfie, makes features bigger, maybe a bit comical.
Right.
Fellini used that effect. He'd film the actors' already sizable features in extreme close-up, turning them into these almost grotesque, larger-than-life figures. It just intensifies that carnival feel we were talking about.
That's brilliant. So using a technical trick to actually boost the emotional, the thematic core?
Precisely. It's not just flashy. It serves that whole memory as exaggeration idea.
And what about those specific images? The ones that really stick with you?
Oh yeah. That technique contributes to those truly iconic shots that just burn into your memory. Like the peacock suddenly spreading its feathers on the snow.
Oh, beautiful.
Just this moment of pure, unexpected beauty. Or the huge ocean liner, the wrecks, that the whole town rows out to greet. This symbol of distant dreams, in this small provincial world.
Yeah.
They're not just pretty pictures, they're loaded with symbolism, part of that fabulous collage. And look, you absolutely cannot talk about Amarcord without mentioning Nino Rota's score.
Oh, the music, yes.
It's consistently praised, not just unforgettable, but people call it his best musical score for the film. Some even say the best score ever.
High praise.
It really is.
Yeah.
Rota's music is like another character. It weaves through all these different vignettes. Sometimes it's whimsical, sometimes it's quite melancholic. It adds so much emotional depth and charm, binding that whole mosaic together.
Yeah, I can hear it now.
The film just wouldn't hit the same without it, not even close.
Okay, so we have this incredibly vibrant world, these unforgettable characters, stunning visuals, amazing music. But you mentioned controversies earlier.
Yeah.
Beyond the humor and the nostalgia, Amarcord does get into deeper societal stuff. How does Fellini handle complex subjects like, say, the rise of fascism or adolescent sexuality within this memoryscape? Does that dreamlike quality soften it or give it a different kind of power? And why do people react so differently to it?
That's a really crucial point because Fellini isn't trying to make a historical documentary, right? It's felt memory.
Right.
What's fascinating is how he captures not just the obvious fascist stuff, the rallies, the slogans, but the everyday psychological atmosphere. The great ignorance and confusion, as Fellini put it, that allowed fascism to take hold. He talked about people remaining children, leaving responsibility to others, like Ilducing.
So it's embedded in the daily life.
Totally. The film vividly shows 1930s Italy under fascist rule. You see characters openly backing Mussolini. There are scenes with a huge, larger-than-life Mussolini head, the whole town rallying for some official's visit, waving flags, singing anthems.
Sounds like he's showing how it just permeated everything, not just politics from the top down.
Precisely. It's less about direct political critique, maybe, and more about showing the experience of that time, the absurdity, but also the menace underneath.
Is there menace? It sounds quite light sometimes.
Oh, there is. There's a really stark moment where Tita's father, who's described as a socialist or an anarchist, he gets interrogated and roughed up by black shirts.
Mussolini's paramilitary guys.
Yeah, known for their brutality.
Yeah.
Happens after someone plays an anti-fascist anthem from a church tower. So that scene shows the very real, brutal threat just simmering beneath the surface of this seemingly nostalgic memory.
Okay, so it's not all rosy nostalgia.
Not at all, but that approach, like you said, it definitely sparked debate.
How so? How did people react to that portrayal of fascism?
Well, user reviews are pretty divided. Some critics felt Fellini treated fascism too kindly or didn't criticize it enough. They called it politically naive. They wanted a clearer moral judgment.
Okay.
But others argued he captured the psychological, emotional manner of being a fascist in a way that simple condemnation couldn't. They saw it as this sharp observation of how people adapt or even embrace authoritarianism through fear, ignorance, wanting simple answers. Less a political statement, more a psychological one.
So a more nuanced take seen through the lens of memory, which is never simple.
Exactly. Memory is ambiguous. And then there's the other big theme.
The sexuality.
Yeah, the film is incredibly frank about male, adolescent, sexual fantasies, frustrations, hence the R rating. This is another area that really divides audiences.
What kind of scenes are we talking about?
Well, there's Tita's desperate, awkward encounter with the tobacconist we mentioned. Gradiska is this ultimate, unattainable object of desire. There's a scene with boys masturbating in a car.
Oh.
And even in Confession, the priest asking these really intense questions about self-abuse. Fellini doesn't shy away from it at all.
And the reaction to that, I can imagine it might be jarring for some, especially mixed with the whimsical stuff.
Absolutely. Some viewers definitely find the humor crude, juvenile, even vulgar. They mention toilet humor and fart jokes specifically. They feel it kind of detracts from the artistry.
Right.
But others really appreciate it as this honest, it may be exaggerated, honest portrayal of adolescent desire. That universal, awkward, sometimes ridiculous intensity of puberty.
A parody, almost.
Yeah, some see it as a parody of the ridiculousness of those obsessions. And maybe a necessary balance to the pure nostalgia, showing memory isn't always pretty or tasteful. It's the full spectrum, even the uncomfortable bits. But it's not all humor and awkwardness. Despite everything, Amarcord also hits these deeply melancholic notes, reflecting the sweet and bitter nature of memory, just like the title I Remember suggests. Well, critics often point to scenes like the ending, the powerful conclusion that shows the quiet emptiness a father feels after a parent dies. It captures that universal experience of loss with such profound insight.
Wow.
It's a moment of grief that just cuts right through the carnival atmosphere, adds huge emotional depth, reminds you memory isn't just about joy and laughs, but loss and longing too.
So it really isn't just a collection of funny stories or weird characters. It hits those deep, universal human notes, which explains why Amarcord isn't just, a moment in film history. It keeps influencing people, right?
Yeah.
Decades later.
It's really quite remarkable. Fellini himself called it a minor planet, but it's become this huge cultural touchstone, a beloved classic everywhere.
And the awards certainly back that up.
Oh yeah. Critically, it was a huge success. Won the Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film in '74. Then Fellini got nominated for Best Director and Best Original Screenplay the next year.
Impressive.
Plus, it's got a solid 7.8 on IMDb. It's in the Criterion Collection Spy No. 4, which is early and significant. And Roger Ebert put it on his great movies list.
That's a heck of a resume. But beyond awards, how exactly did its style influence other filmmakers? You do hear its name pop up a lot.
Well, what Amarcord did, maybe more than anything, was show filmmakers that mood and memory could be stronger anchors for a narrative than a traditional plot. It showed how you could build an emotionally coherent story out of fragments, out of moments. It freed filmmakers to explore inner worlds, collective memory. It proved that a mosaic of memories could be incredibly profound.
Any specific examples of influence?
Woody Allen's Radio Days comes up constantly in reviews. People see a huge debt to Amarcord. Some even joke it's a shabby remake or Amarcord in almost everything but setting and plot.
Wow, that's quite a statement.
Yeah. Even Allen's classroom scenes in Annie Hall, they owe something to Fellini's episodic style, his way of using vivid, almost surreal characters to make a point. And it's known to be a favorite of Emir Kusturica too.
So it really opened doors creatively.
Big time. It wasn't just what he showed, but how he structured it. That was groundbreaking.
And I read something interesting about its place in home video history too. A technical first.
You're absolutely right to pick up on that. Beyond the art, it has this cool little place in tech history. Amarcord was the very first movie released on home video in the letterbox format.
Meaning the black bars.
Exactly. Preserving the original wide aspect ratio instead of cropping it to fit old square TVs, which was standard then. Black bars top and bottom.
That was pretty forward thinking for back then.
Totally visionary for preserving the film's look on small screens, way before it became common. This was on an RCA Selectavision CED video disc, an early disc format, back in January 1984. It just shows Fellini was ahead of the curve, not just artistically, but thinking about presentation too.
That's a great detail. Ties the art to the tech. Now, you mentioned earlier that some reviewers call Amarcord Fellini's most accessible film. That's interesting, right? Because given the non-linear stuff, the sometimes explicit themes, that could still feel challenging if you're new to Fellini. How do you square that accessibility with its unconventional style?
That's a great question. It really gets to why it endures. Yes, it's unconventional, but its accessibility comes from those universal themes we talked about. Childhood, family, community, first crushes, wanting to escape your small town, the whole bittersweet nature of looking back.
Things everyone relates to.
Exactly. Even if you've never set foot in Rimini, you connect with the feelings. The characters, yeah, they're exaggerated, but they're recognizable types. The humor, even when crude, is often just broadly funny. So while it messes with narrative rules, it speaks to these deeply familiar human experiences. Lots of reviewers said it made them think about their own childhoods, their own memories, whether they knew Fellini's other, often more abstract films or not.
So it taps into something personal for the viewer.
Definitely. And it's a film that people say grows on you. You watch it again, you see new layers, new connections. That makes it really enduring. Feels both deeply personal to Fellini and yet somehow speaks to everyone.
So we've journeyed through Fellini's Amarcord then, this vibrant, bittersweet tapestry of memory and Italian provincial life.
We've seen its unique episodic way of storytelling, those unforgettable, larger-than-life characters.
The stunning visuals and that really provocative exploration of big themes, fascism, adolescent desire.
And how it all continues to captivate audiences, inspire filmmakers, even today.
So if Amarcord teaches us anything, maybe it's that our memories, however distorted, embellished, maybe even a bit vulgar sometimes, are our own personal masterpieces. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What forgotten moments from your own past might be worth revisiting and perhaps reimagining.